The day had begun like any other on the planet Zarion. The twin suns rose over the jagged mountains, casting long shadows across the cities that clung to the cliffs like stubborn vines. The alien inhabitants of Zarion, known as the Krell, went about their daily lives, unaware that the fabric of their universe was about to change forever. In the capital city of Vorin, alarms suddenly rang out across every district. The sky, which moments ago had been a clear gradient of orange and violet, began to shimmer unnaturally. The Krell watched in awe as a thin, jagged line appeared above the horizon, stretching across the sky like a wound in the heavens. At first, they thought it was a natural phenomenon, a rift caused by the planet's unstable magnetic fields. But the rift did not behave like any natural occurrence they had ever recorded. In the observation towers of the High Command, Commander Thalor studied the anomaly through a magnifying lens that amplified every detail of the sky. "It is moving," he muttered, his tentacles curling around the railing. "This is no ordinary storm." The rift pulsed with light, and within it a shape began to form, a shape that made every Krell observer freeze in terror. It was a warship, a massive human warship unlike anything known to the galaxy. Its hull gleamed with metallic brilliance, reflecting both suns like a shard of fire. It moved with quiet authority, cutting through the rift as if the vacuum of space obeyed its command. On board the ship, Captain Mira Solon stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the swirling void of the rift. "Status report," she demanded. Her voice was calm, but there was a spark of excitement in her tone. Lieutenant Arik Ven, her second-in-command, adjusted the ship's navigational interface. "We are stable, Captain. The rift is turbulent, but the vessel is holding. Sensors indicate we are entering uncharted space." Mira nodded, her thoughts racing. This mission had been planned in secrecy for years. Humanity had discovered anomalies in the galaxy, rifts that connected distant corners of space, and now it was time to explore, to show that humans could face the unknown. "Prepare the crew for potential contact," she ordered. "We do not know what lies on the other side, but we will meet it head-on." Back on Zarion, panic spread. The Krell scrambled their defense fleets, launching ships that resembled living creatures, their hulls organic and pulsating with energy. These ships moved with speed and precision, but they had never faced anything like the human warship. From the bridge of the human ship, Mira observed the approaching alien vessels. "They're cautious," she noted. "Good. That will give us a chance to assess their capabilities." The first contact was sudden. A Krell scout ship darted forward, firing energy pulses toward the human vessel. The shot struck the shield, sending shimmering ripples across the hull. The crew remained calm, trained for situations like this. Mira gave the order. "Hold position. Observe and respond only if necessary." The human ship's sensors began recording every detail: the energy patterns, the speed of the scout, the composition of its hull. Humanity had long relied on adaptability to survive, and every new detail was an opportunity to learn and respond. The scout fired again, more aggressively this time. Arik glanced at the tactical readouts. "Captain, they are probing our defenses. They do not understand us yet, but they are curious. They may attack if we show weakness." Mira considered the options. Humanity had never sought conflict for its own sake, but they were never cowed by threats. "Engage non-lethal countermeasures," she ordered. "Demonstrate that we are capable but not reckless. Let them see that humans are not to be underestimated." A soft hum resonated through the ship as electromagnetic pulses emitted from its hull, disabling the scout systems without causing permanent harm. The alien vessel spun out of control, drifting back toward the rift. On the bridge, the crew allowed themselves a momentary sigh of relief, but there was no time to celebrate. From the rift, larger ships emerged. Flagships with multiple weapons arrays, their presence alone a statement of power. The Krell fleet began to organize, forming a blockade that stretched across space. Mira watched carefully. "They are testing us. They do not expect humans to survive such a display, but we will show them differently." Deep within the ship, engineers worked tirelessly. The rift's unstable energy threatened to destabilize the ship's core. Chief Engineer Lyra barked orders, adjusting energy flows and monitoring structural integrity. Every adjustment was precise, every action measured. The ship responded to their commands like a living being, thrumming with energy and potential. Meanwhile, Mira walked the bridge, observing the crew. They were humans from all corners of Earth, trained for space operations, scientists, strategists, and explorers. Each of them shared a common thread: courage. She knew that in the vastness of space, courage was often the deciding factor between survival and destruction. "Captain," Arik said, pointing to the visual display, "the rift is widening. More ships are coming." Mira's gaze hardened. "Then we will prepare. Humanity does not shrink from the unknown." We step forward. On Zarion, the Krell watched in disbelief. No race had ever entered their space in such a way, with neither fear nor hesitation. Their commanders exchanged worried glances. Commander Thalor hissed through clenched teeth, "They are fearless. They do not understand danger, yet they do not flee. This is unusual." The human warship adjusted its position, its engines creating a controlled pulse of energy that lit the void around it. The humans were aware of the aliens' numbers and strength, yet their confidence never wavered. It was a confidence born from generations of survival, innovation, and unyielding spirit. As the first Krell attack wave approached, Mira gave the order to open communications. "This is Captain Mira Solon of the United Earth Forces. We come in peace, but we are prepared for war if necessary. Cease hostile action and dialogue can begin." The alien fleet paused, uncertainty rippling through their ranks. Their communication systems blinked, attempting to decode the human message. Some ships hesitated, unsure whether this was a trick or a genuine offer. Mira watched patiently, knowing that patience was a weapon in itself. The humans had no intention of surrender, but they also valued diplomacy. If the Krell chose peace, it would be welcomed. If they chose war, the humans would not falter. The first signs of dialogue emerged as the Krell sent a response, garbled and unfamiliar to human sensors. Arik worked quickly to translate. "Captain, they are asking why we are here. They do not recognize our species." Mira nodded. "Then we will explain. Humanity has always sought to explore, to understand. That is why we are here. Let them hear it." She activated the universal translator, her voice carrying across the void. "We are humans from Earth. We come as explorers. We mean no harm unless provoked. We seek understanding and peace." The Krell ships hesitated, their formations wavering as the message was processed. Commander Thalor's tentacles trembled with frustration and curiosity. He had never encountered a species that entered battlespace with such poise. "They are different," he whispered. From the human ship, the crew continued their observations, cataloging the alien vessels, their technology, and their behavior. Every moment was precious, every decision critical. Humanity had entered a new chapter, one that would test their limits in ways they could not yet imagine. As the sun set over Zarion, the rift above the planet continued to pulse, as if it had a heartbeat. The human warship remained steadfast, a symbol of resilience, courage, and the indomitable human spirit. Mira knew that the coming days would be filled with challenges, but she also knew one undeniable truth. Humans did not flee. They adapted. They fought. They survived. And somewhere deep in the void, the rift seemed to pulse in acknowledgement. The humans had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The human warship hung in the sky above Zarion like a silver sentinel, its hull gleaming in the light of the twin suns. The rift behind it shimmered with chaotic energy, a swirling tear in space that seemed to hum with anticipation. From every observation deck and control panel on the vessel, the crew watched as the alien Krell fleet slowly organized into attack formations. Captain Mira Solon remained calm on the bridge, her gaze steady and determined. "They are testing us," she said. "They do not know what to expect. We will show them our strength." Lieutenant Arik Venn adjusted the ship's tactical display, fingers moving over holographic controls. "Captain, their formation is tight, but there are gaps. We can exploit them if we act quickly. The first wave of attack ships is approaching at high speed." Mira nodded. "Prepare shields and countermeasures. But remember, we strike only if necessary. Observe, learn, adapt." The Krell ships surged forward, their hulls glowing with alien energy. The first volley of fire struck the human warship's shields, sending ripples of light across the hull. The impact was strong, but the ship held firm. The crew responded with trained efficiency, activating defensive systems that absorbed and redirected the alien energy. Below deck, Chief Engineer Lyra monitored the power flow with a focused intensity. "Shields are stable, but the rift's energy is affecting our systems," she reported. "We can hold, but we must be precise." Mira's voice echoed through the bridge. Then precision will be our weapon. Forward cannons at maximum charge. Target the lead ships, disable, don't destroy. The first shots from the human warship streaked toward the Krell attackers, moving faster than the eye could follow. Energy beams and missiles carved paths through space, striking with calculated accuracy. One Krell ship spun out of control as its engines were disrupted, drifting helplessly toward the rift. On the bridge, the crew allowed themselves a small moment of satisfaction, but Mira's eyes remained on the horizon. They will respond, she said quietly. Prepare for the second wave. As predicted, the Krell adjusted their tactics. Smaller attack ships moved to flank the human vessel, attempting to overwhelm it with sheer numbers. The humans reacted with ingenuity, forming defensive patterns that allowed them to counter the alien maneuvers. Drones launched from the warship intercepted incoming fire, exploding in controlled bursts that sent shockwaves through the alien formation. "Captain, they are regrouping," Arik shouted. "The flagships are entering battle range. This is going to get dangerous." Mira's hand rested on the command rail. "Danger is expected," she said. "This is what humans do. Stand firm, fight smart, survive." From below, Lyra adjusted the energy cores to divert more power to the shields and weapons. The hum of the ship deepened as it responded to the crew's commands, its systems working in perfect harmony. Humans had always relied on adaptability, and this moment demanded every ounce of it. Outside, the battle intensified. Alien beams streaked through space and explosions painted the void with fiery light. The human warship moved with precision, dodging attacks while striking at critical points in the alien formation. Each move was measured, each strike calculated, a demonstration of human discipline and strategy. Amid the chaos, Mira noticed something unusual. The Krell flagships were not just attacking. They were probing, testing the humans' reactions. "They are trying to learn us," she observed. "Then we will teach them a lesson they will not forget." She gave the order to deploy tactical illusions, holographic decoys designed to confuse and divide the enemy. The bridge lit up with multiple copies of the human vessel, each moving in perfect synchronization. The Krell ships fired on the illusions, wasting energy and exposing themselves to counterattacks. Arik grinned. "They don't know what to do. The decoys are working perfectly." Mira allowed herself a brief nod. "Good, but we are not done. Prepare for precision strike on their command ship." The crew responded immediately, locking weapons onto the Krell flagship at the center of the formation. With a series of controlled bursts, the human warship struck its target, disabling key systems without causing total destruction. The flagship faltered and the surrounding Krell ships hesitated, unsure how to respond. From the observation decks on Zarion, the Krell watched in astonishment. No species had ever met their fleet with such courage and strategy. Commander Thalor's tentacles trembled with a mix of anger and curiosity. "They are remarkable," he muttered. "These humans fight differently. They do not fear. They adapt." Inside the human warship, the crew remained focused. They celebrated small victories, but their attention never wavered from the task at hand. Every maneuver, every calculation, was part of a larger strategy: survive, learn, and demonstrate humanity's resilience. Suddenly, the rift pulsed violently, sending waves of unstable energy toward the battlefield. The human warship shook, systems flickering under the strain. "We're being pulled," shouted a junior officer. Mira's voice was firm. "Maintain course. Stabilizers at maximum. We will not be dragged into the rift." Lyra worked furiously below deck, rerouting power and reinforcing structural integrity. The ship responded like a living organism, bending but not breaking, absorbing the rift's energy with controlled precision. The Krell attempted to exploit the humans' moment of vulnerability, pressing their attack with renewed aggression. But the human crew had anticipated this. Countermeasures, evasive maneuvers, and precise strikes created a deadly ballet in space. Every human on the warship moved with purpose, their training and courage shining in the void. Mira watched the alien fleet falter under the combined might of human strategy and technology. "They may have numbers," she said, "but we have something they cannot match: ingenuity and will. Humanity will not be defeated here." The battle raged for hours, the suns of Zarion casting long shadows across the planet below. From the surface, the Krell populations watched in awe and fear. Never had they imagined a species could enter their space and face them with such confidence and precision. Finally, the first wave of alien ships began to retreat. their formation breaking apart. The human warship, though battered, remained intact, its crew exhausted but triumphant. Mira allowed herself a small smile. "We have survived the first test," she said. "But this is only the beginning. The rift brought us here for a reason, and soon we will discover what that reason is." In the quiet moments after the battle, the crew worked tirelessly to repair damage and recalibrate systems. Every scar on the hull was a lesson learned, every adjustment a testament to human resilience. They had faced overwhelming odds and emerged victorious, not through brute force alone, but through courage, intelligence, and unity. As night fell on Zarion, the rift pulsed with a strange, almost sentient energy. The humans had shown their strength, but the galaxy was vast, and the challenges ahead would be greater than any they had faced before. Mira stood on the bridge looking out at the swirling void.
"We have made our presence known," she said.
And now the real journey begins. The Krell commanders regrouped in the distance, wary and uncertain. They had faced humans and found them unlike any opponent before. Commander Thalor muttered, "They are not just survivors. They are hunters, thinkers, and something more. We must prepare for what comes next." Below the bridge, the crew of the human warship shared quiet smiles and nods. They had faced the unknown together, survived, and proven that humanity could hold its own among the stars. Every officer, every engineer, every navigator knew that this was only the start of a larger story, one that would test their limits and showcase the true strength of humans. The rift continued to pulse above, a doorway to the unknown. The human warship floated silently before it, ready to step forward, ready to explore, ready to fight if needed. Humanity had arrived and the universe would remember it. The human warship drifted just beyond the edge of Zarion's atmosphere, hovering in the faint glow of the twin suns. The rift behind it shimmered and twisted, a living scar in the universe beckoning with impossible energy. The first clash with the Krell fleet had shown humanity's strength, but it had also revealed how little they truly understood the forces behind the rift. Captain Mira Solon stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the swirling anomaly. "Sensors are picking up fluctuations in the rift," she said. "It's not just a hole in space. There is something inside, something alive, or at least acting as if it is." Lieutenant Arik Venn leaned over the tactical display. "We've seen the Krell's defenses, Captain. They feared us, but I think they also fear the rift itself. If we enter, we could uncover what they're hiding, or what they have been protecting for millennia." Mira nodded. "Prepare the crew for entry. We proceed slowly, shields at maximum, engines at full power, but move cautiously. We do not know what awaits on the other side." Below deck, Chief Engineer Lyra adjusted the ship's energy cores. The rift's unstable energy sent ripples across the vessel, making systems flicker and hum unpredictably. "I've never seen anything like this," she muttered, tightening a series of conduits. "It's like the rift is testing the ship itself." The crew braced as the warship moved closer. Space around them twisted in strange colors, greens and purples streaking across the void like liquid light. Stars seemed to bend and shimmer unnaturally. It was beautiful, terrifying, and alive all at once. Entering the rift in 3, 2, 1, Mira counted down. The engines flared as the ship surged forward, crossing the threshold of the rift. The view outside became surreal. Stars stretched into streaks, space itself bending as though the laws of physics had changed. Suddenly, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms rang throughout the vessel. Hull stress rising. "Gravitational anomalies detected," shouted a junior officer. "Hold steady," Mira commanded. "Maintain course. Lyra, adjust energy fields to compensate. We are not turning back." Lyra's fingers flew across the controls. The ship groaned and vibrated as systems strained against the rift's pull. Slowly, the warship stabilized, hovering in a strange luminescent void. Unlike normal space, this area had no horizon, no up or down, just an endless expanse of shifting light. Arik studied the readings. "Captain, the rift isn't empty. There are structures, large angular formations moving slowly. They are not natural. Something is controlling them." Mira's brow furrowed. "Keep your distance. Observe but do not provoke. We don't know what we are dealing with yet." As they moved closer, the structures became clearer. Towering spires covered in pulsating energy floated in the void. Strange, geometric shapes hovered around them, like satellites orbiting a planet. It was clear that this was not a natural rift. It was a gateway, and whatever lay within had been deliberately built. Suddenly, a bright pulse of energy shot out from one of the structures, streaking toward the warship. Shields flared as it struck, sending ripples through the hull. "They're active!" Arik shouted. "Some kind of defense system." Mira didn't hesitate. "Return fire, but carefully. Target the source, not the structure itself. We are explorers, not destroyers." The forward cannons flared, beams of controlled energy striking the pulsating node. The pulse stopped, and the surrounding formation shifted as if aware of the human presence. The crew held their breath. They were in alien territory unlike anything humanity had ever encountered, yet they moved with confidence and precision. From below deck, Lyra monitored power levels, ensuring the ship could withstand the rift's unpredictable energy. "Energy flux is rising. If we push too far, we risk structural failure," she warned. Mira made a decision. "We advance, but slowly. Observe everything. Humanity survives not by reckless force, but by caution and skill." As the warship moved deeper, strange alien vessels emerged from the shadows of the rift. These ships were unlike the Krell vessels. They were enormous, almost organic in design, with hulls that seemed to ripple like liquid metal. They moved silently at first, then accelerated toward the human ship, surrounding it on all sides. "Unknown ships approaching fast," Arik said, scanning rapidly. "They're not attacking, yet they're studying us." Mira clenched her fists. "Then we study them back. Open all sensors. Record every detail. We are not just here to survive, we are here to understand." The alien vessels emitted pulses of energy that disrupted the warship's shields. The crew worked in perfect synchronization, activating countermeasures and defensive patterns. It was a tense ballet, with humans reacting to threats they had never seen before. Suddenly, one of the alien ships lunged forward aggressively. The human crew responded instantly, dodging and launching a controlled counterattack. The alien ship faltered but did not retreat. It seemed to test the humans, learning from their maneuvers. "Captain," Arik said, "they adapt quickly. Every time we move, they change their approach." Mira's eyes narrowed. "Then we adapt faster. Humanity's strength is not in raw numbers, it is in ingenuity. Let's show them why humans never surrender." Below, Lyra rerouted energy to the engines, allowing the ship to move with sudden bursts of speed that defied expectation. The human warship darted between the alien vessels, striking with precise, non-lethal energy bursts that disabled their systems temporarily. One by one, the alien ships began to hesitate, unsure how to deal with a species that fought with intelligence rather than aggression alone. In the midst of the chaos, Mira noticed a new energy pattern emanating from the rift itself. It was not random. It was deliberate, almost like a signal. "There is something controlling these vessels," she said. "Something bigger than any of them." Arik frowned. "Do we engage it or retreat?" Mira's expression was firm. "We observe first. Humans do not rush blindly. We survive by knowing our enemies, and this is no ordinary enemy. We must learn before we act." As the warship moved closer to the source, a massive energy field appeared, a glowing sphere that pulsed with immense power. The rift seemed alive, and inside, the structures and ships all orbited around this central core. It radiated energy that resonated through the human ship, making the hull hum and the crew feel an unfamiliar pressure. "Life signs inside the core," Arik said, voice tight with awe. "Something is alive, or it was alive once. It's immense, intelligent." Mira stood silently, absorbing the sight. She had seen many wonders in humanity's history of exploration, but this was unlike anything else. "We will document everything," she said, "and we will survive. Humanity does not falter in the face of the unknown." The alien vessels around them continued to observe, sometimes mimicking human maneuvers, sometimes firing pulses that disrupted the warship's shields. Each encounter taught the crew more about the rift and the forces within. Humans had always thrived in adversity, and this moment was no different. Hours passed. The warship moved cautiously through the rift, recording every detail, learning every pattern. For the humans, this was not just survival, it was discovery. For the alien forces, it was the first clear demonstration of human courage, intelligence, and adaptability. Finally, the warship reached a plateau of stability near the core. The pulsating sphere radiated immense power, but the humans had mapped its fluctuations. Mira looked around at her crew. "We have come far and we have survived. But the rift is not done with us. Its secrets will not reveal themselves easily. We must be ready for whatever comes next." Outside, the alien vessels continued to circle, hesitant but watchful. They had seen humans fight with unmatched ingenuity, survive against impossible odds, and face the unknown with courage. They had never encountered a species like this before. Inside, the human crew prepared for the next phase of exploration. Sensors were recalibrated, shields reinforced, and weapons adjusted for both defense and adaptability. Every crew member understood the gravity of their mission. Humanity had stepped into a new frontier, and their actions would shape the galaxy's perception of humans forever. Mira stood on the bridge, looking at the glowing core of the rift. She spoke quietly, almost to herself, yet the words carried to every member of the crew. We came to explore, to learn, to survive. But we are humans. We do not flee. We do not bow. We adapt, we fight, and above all, we endure. The rift pulsed as if acknowledging her words. The humans had entered its heart and the universe had taken notice. This was the beginning of a journey that would test every limit, but it would also prove one undeniable truth. Humanity would rise, no matter the odds. The human warship floated in the strange, glowing expanse of the rift. The pulsating core ahead radiated immense energy, sending waves that made the ship hum in resonance. Every system aboard the vessel strained against the unnatural forces, but the crew remained calm and focused. They had survived countless challenges before, and this would be no different. Captain Mira Solon stood on the bridge, her hands resting lightly on the command rail. "This is it," she said quietly. "The center of the rift. Whatever created this, whatever's controlling it, is here." Lieutenant Arik Venn scanned the holographic displays, his eyes wide with awe. "It's incredible, Captain. The energy patterns are like nothing we've ever seen. Intelligent, adaptive, and enormous in scale. We are truly in uncharted territory." Mira nodded. "Then we proceed carefully. Shields at maximum, all systems ready. We observe first, engage only if necessary. Humanity survives by thinking, not rushing." Below deck, Chief Engineer Lyra monitored the power cores. The rift's energy pulsed through the ship like a heartbeat. "Energy fluctuations are increasing," she reported. "If we get too close, the hull could be stressed beyond limits. But if we move slowly, we can compensate." Mira took a deep breath. "Slow and steady. Humanity endures because we are precise, adaptable, and united. Let's show them who we are." As the ship drew closer, strange figures began to emerge from the pulsating core. Massive, semi-transparent forms floated around the sphere, their shapes constantly shifting, almost like they were made of living light. The humans had no frame of reference for these beings, but it was clear they were intelligent. Their movements were deliberate, coordinated, almost ritualistic. "Captain," Arik said, voice tense, "these beings, they are aware of us. Their energy is watching, analyzing. We are not alone in here." Mira's expression hardened with determination. "Then we respect them, but we do not retreat. Humanity faces the unknown without fear. Maintain course, observe everything, and remember, knowledge is our strength." The alien entities emitted pulses of energy that brushed against the ship's shields. Each pulse was precise, testing the humans, probing their defenses. The warship shuddered under the pressure, but the crew remained calm, responding with careful adjustments to shields, engines, and weapon systems. "Captain," Arik said, "they are communicating, somehow, not with words but with energy. It feels like," thought Mira considered this. "Then we respond the same way. Open the ship's energy relay systems. Match their frequencies. We will show them we are intelligent, capable, and willing to understand." The bridge hummed as the crew adjusted the ship's energy output. Slowly, the pulses from the rift's entities began to synchronize with the human signals. It was a delicate dance, a silent conversation conducted through resonance and light. For the first time, the human crew sensed that the beings were not hostile. They were curious. "Captain," Arik said, "they are slowing. Their pulses. They are observing us, not attacking. I think they are testing our intelligence, our adaptability. They want to see if we are worthy of passage." Mira allowed herself a small smile. "Then we will prove it. Humanity does not back down from tests, and we do not surrender. Keep the ship steady, maintain the signals, and prepare for whatever comes next." From below, Lyra monitored the hull's stress levels. "We can hold, but the closer we get, the more dangerous it becomes. If the entities push back, we need contingency plans ready." Mira nodded. Contingency is always ready, Chief, but we rely on skill, courage, and unity first. That is humanity's true strength. The warship moved carefully toward the core, the energy being shifted aside, allowing passage through the glowing expanse. Every step forward was deliberate, every movement measured. The humans were no longer simply exploring. They were engaging in a silent, intelligent dialogue with a force far beyond their comprehension. Suddenly, the rift pulsed violently, sending waves of energy that slammed against the ship. Alarms rang throughout the vessel and the hull groaned under the strain. "Hull stress critical," shouted a junior officer. Mira's voice cut through the alarm. "Steady. Divert all power to shields and stabilizers. Humanity endures because we remain calm when the universe tests us. Focus." Lyra worked furiously, rerouting energy and reinforcing the hull's integrity. Slowly the ship stabilized, though the pulse had left a tremor in every system. Outside, the energy beings seemed to react, flowing around the warship in curious patterns, almost like an acknowledgement of human resilience. "Captain," Arik said, eyes wide. "They're guiding us now. It's like they want us to reach the core. They're helping." Mira exhaled softly. "Then we follow. Carefully, intelligently, together. Humanity moves forward because we do not falter in the face of the unknown." The crew worked in perfect synchronization, adjusting shields, engines, and sensors as they approached the pulsating sphere. The energy beings floated alongside, their forms flowing like liquid light, guiding the humans deeper into the heart of the rift. As they neared the core, a new energy signature appeared, smaller, precise, and rapid. It moved in patterns that suggested intelligence and caution. "Captain," Arik said, "another presence. Smaller than the core entities, but highly active. They're defensive, I think. Protective of the core." Mira studied the readings. "Then we must show respect. Humanity survives because we recognize when to fight and when to understand. Prepare a non-threatening display of energy. Show we are capable but not hostile." The crew adjusted the ship's energy output, creating a harmonic pulse that resonated with the smaller entities. Slowly, they ceased their defensive maneuvers and floated alongside the human vessel. The warship was surrounded by light and energy, yet there was no danger, only observation, a silent acknowledgement of intelligence. "Captain," Arik said, awe in his voice. "They're communicating, not with words but with patterns. We can understand some of it. They are asking why we are here." Mira nodded. "Then we answer. Humanity explores because we seek knowledge. We survive because we adapt. We come in peace, but we will not flee from challenges. That is who we are." The ship's energy relays pulsed, sending a response in perfect synchronization with the rift's entities. The beings shifted almost in recognition, and the path to the core cleared completely. It was as if the rift itself was opening a door, inviting the humans to witness its heart. Mira felt a sense of awe she had never experienced before. "This is it," she whispered. "The very center of the rift. The source of this energy. The reason the universe has hidden it for so long. And now, humanity has arrived." The warship hovered before the pulsating core, surrounded by flowing entities and intricate energy formations. Every crew member on board felt the weight of the moment. They had faced impossible odds, survived alien attacks, navigated the unknown, and now stood at the threshold of a cosmic secret. "Captain," Arik said, "we need to prepare for analysis. Sensors, probes, everything. This is an opportunity we may never get again." Mira nodded. "Do it. Carefully. Humanity survives because we balance courage with intelligence, action with thought. Record everything. Learn everything. And remember, no matter what happens, we endure." The rift pulsed once, twice, and then seemed to settle. The energy beings flowed around the warship, their forms luminous and mesmerizing. For the first time, the humans felt a connection, not just with the rift, but with the intelligence that created it. It was a silent acknowledgement, a moment of mutual recognition between species separated by millions of miles, yet united by curiosity, courage, and the will to survive. Mira looked out at the glowing core, her mind racing with possibilities. "We have survived the tests," she said softly. "We have proven ourselves, and now we must uncover the rift's secrets. Humanity will not retreat. We will endure, explore, and rise to every challenge the universe presents." Outside, the rift shimmered, acknowledging their presence. The humans had entered its heart, and in doing so had begun a new chapter in the story of their species. a chapter of courage, of ingenuity, and of the unstoppable human spirit. The human warship hovered at the heart of the rift, surrounded by the pulsating core and luminous energy beings. The crew had spent hours observing, learning, and synchronizing with the rift's strange intelligence. Yet Captain Mira Solon knew that this was only the beginning. The core pulsed more violently now, sending ripples across the void, waves that tested the ship's strength and the crew's resolve. "Captain," Lieutenant Arik Ven said, scanning the displays, "the core's energy output is increasing. It's almost as if it's aware of us in ways we cannot predict. We need to prepare for anything." Mira nodded, her expression calm but determined. "Humanity survives because we face the unknown without fear. All systems, shields, engines, and tactical support, ready for any contingency. We are explorers, but we are also protectors of our own lives." Below deck, Chief Engineer Lyra worked furiously. "Captain, the hull is holding, but the energy fluctuations are at maximum. Any mistake could destabilize the entire ship. We need to calculate the safest path forward." Mira's voice echoed through the ship. "Do it. Humanity survives because we combine intelligence with courage. Focus, precision, and teamwork, everything we have learned brought us here. We endure, and we adapt." Outside, the rift pulsed like a heartbeat, and the core seemed to react directly to the human ship. Energy spirals formed around the vessel, twisting and flowing like liquid light. The alien energy beings moved faster now, forming patterns that resembled gates or barriers. It was clear that this was not just observation. They were testing the humans' limits. "Captain," Arik said, tension in his voice, "they're forcing us to maneuver. Every choice we make affects the rift directly. This is more than a test. It's a challenge of intelligence, precision, and strategy." Mira clenched her fists, her mind racing. "Then we meet it as humans always have. With ingenuity, courage, and unity. Take us through the first barrier. Use every skill we have. Show them why humanity survives." The warship moved carefully, dodging spirals of energy and pulsing fields. Every movement was deliberate, every adjustment precise. The rift seemed to respond to the humans' choices, sending obstacles, testing the crew's teamwork, and challenging their understanding of space physics and energy. "Captain, the core's energy patterns are changing rapidly," Arik reported. "We need to synchronize our shields to their frequency, or the hull won't survive." "Do it," Mira said firmly. "Humans endure by adapting. We face the impossible, calculate the solution, and act together. Now is the moment to prove it." Below deck, Lyra rerouted energy from non-essential systems to shields and stabilizers. The ship vibrated and groaned under the strain, but the crew's skill kept it intact. Humanity had always faced overwhelming challenges and survived. This was no different. As the warship moved deeper into the rift, the energy beings began to shift their formations. The path to the core opened slightly, but with it came a new danger, ribbons of concentrated energy that moved unpredictably, like lightning frozen in space. They were fast, precise, and deadly. "Captain, we need to move quickly," Arik warned. "If we hesitate, the energy ribbons could tear the ship apart." Mira's expression was calm. "Steady hands, sharp minds, unity of purpose. Humanity thrives when we act together. We endure because we do not panic, we calculate, we adapt." The crew responded with flawless coordination. Engines flared in sudden bursts to dodge the ribbons. Shields adjusted dynamically to absorb minor impacts. Energy pulses from the ship disrupted the path of smaller obstacles. Every move was precise, every decision intentional. The rift pulsed again, and the core began to project massive arcs of energy directly at the warship. The crew braced, knowing that one miscalculation could mean destruction. Yet instead of panic, they relied on their training, their courage, and their teamwork. "Captain," Lyra said from below deck, "I can divert energy from the engines to amplify shields temporarily. It's risky, but it may be our only way through." "Do it," Mira ordered. "Humanity survives by taking calculated risks. We face the unknown with courage. Focus, adapt, and endure." The ship surged forward, shields flaring brilliantly as energy arcs collided with them. The hull groaned, systems flickered, but the humans held. Slowly, steadily, they moved past the concentrated energy fields and approached the core itself. Outside, the energy beings swirled faster, forming a protective barrier around the pulsating sphere. But something had changed. The rift no longer seemed hostile. The humans' resilience, intelligence, and courage had gained its recognition. The patterns of energy now flowed around the warship, almost as if inviting them closer. "Captain," Arik said, awe in his voice. They're letting us through. I think they recognize us as capable, intelligent, and worthy. Mira smiled faintly. That is humanity. We endure, we adapt, we rise to every challenge. Prepare to reach the core. Sensors at maximum record everything. This is a moment the galaxy will remember. The warship approached the pulsating sphere. Its surface was constantly shifting, glowing with colors and patterns that defied human description. The energy beings moved in harmony around it, creating pathways, gates, and corridors of light. Mira spoke softly to the crew. Observe. Learn. Humanity has always thrived because we explore, because we adapt, because we never surrender. This is our moment. The humans sent a probe first, a small sphere designed to withstand the rift's energy. It transmitted data back, showing that the core was alive with immense intelligence capable of analyzing, learning, and responding. Every signal, every pulse indicated a mind far beyond human comprehension, but also a mind that could recognize ingenuity and courage. Captain, Arik said, the core is acknowledging us. Its patterns are matching our signals. It's communicating, Mira nodded. Then we respond. Humanity speaks with action, intelligence, and courage. That is our language. The ship emitted a harmonic pulse, perfectly aligned with the core's frequency. Light and energy flowed around the vessel, forming patterns that resonated with both humans and the rift. Slowly, the pulsating sphere seemed to calm, and the energy beings formed a protective circle, allowing the warship to hover directly before the core. A calm settled over the rift. The humans had passed every test, faced every obstacle, and demonstrated their intelligence, courage, and unity. Mira looked at her crew. We have done it. Humanity has proven itself. We have survived, we have learned, and we have risen to every challenge. Arik's voice was quiet, almost reverent. Captain, we've done what no other species could. The rift recognizes us. We are part of it now. Mira smiled, pride shining in her eyes. Not part of it, Lieutenant. We are humans. We endure. We explore. We rise. And we have shown the universe that humanity will not bow to the unknown, but will face it and master it. Below deck, Lyra allowed herself a rare smile. We did it. Every system held, every challenge met. Humanity survives because we never give up, no matter the odds. Outside, the rift pulsed one final time, brighter than ever. The energy beings moved aside, and the path back to normal space opened. The humans had reached the heart, proven their worth, and gained knowledge that no other species had ever achieved. They had faced the unknown and triumphed. Mira took one last look at the pulsating sphere. This is only the beginning, she said. The rift has secrets, yes, but humans are explorers. We endure. We learn, we rise, and the galaxy will remember this day, the day humans stood at the heart of the rift and emerged victorious. The warship slowly reversed course, moving back toward normal space. The rift pulsed gently, almost in farewell, as if acknowledging the humans' courage and intelligence. Outside, the stars stretched back into their familiar positions, and the twin suns of Zarian shone warmly once again. Arik glanced at the captain. Do you think they will ever forget us? Mira smiled. No species forgets those who survive, adapt, and rise against impossible odds. Humanity has proven itself today, and the universe has taken notice. The human warship left the rift, battered but unbroken, carrying not only advanced knowledge of the rift itself, but also the undeniable proof of human ingenuity, courage, and resilience. They had faced the ultimate test and emerged triumphant, a shining example of why humanity would always endure in the galaxy. And in the quiet of the stars, the rift pulsed once more, a reminder that the universe held wonders and challenges beyond imagination. But humans, as always, would meet them head-on,